Let me ask you a question. How many days a year do you celebrate Christmas? Well, if you've ever watched any version of A Christmas Carol, you'll find out that in the end of Charles Dickens' novel, that he says, I vowed to celebrate Christmas every day. And this is what the truth is we've reduced it to one day. We've reduced it to a simple holiday. We've reduced it to one hurrah a year, when actually Christmas is a celebration of life and love that Jesus alone brought to this earth. We have no other reason to celebrate Christmas. I mean, Christ Mass, Christ for the people, Christ for the group, Christ for the masses. And this is exactly what we're celebrating. Celebrating Christmas. It should be something that lives in our heart and is celebrated every day of the year. And you know what? My beautiful best friend and wife is going to be sharing in the service this morning. She has such a powerful testimony because it involves Christmas. And you're going to be taking us there today.
Yeah, actually, when I was a teenager 50 years ago, this year, I got born again. But, I'm going to talk about something that's in Luke chapter 2. And in Luke chapter 2, there's this one line that stands out to me, and it says, "For unto you this day a child is born." For unto you. And the Lord just really made it very personal to me on that day, 50 years ago, that unto me this child was born. He came to save me.
Wow.
And I'm going to talk about how Bethlehem was just such a lowly place, and what a great history it has throughout Scripture, and how God uses the lowly things and the things that are foolish to confound the wise. This tiny little village, these lowly shepherds that were the lowest on the rung of social echelon in society. They couldn't even testify in court. They were looked down upon so much. Usually young, uneducated men. Who did the angels go to declare, "For unto you"? Who did they go to? They went to shepherds.
The least.
There were kings in palaces. There were theologians sitting around those kings. And of course, the people in Israel, the Jews, they knew, because in Micah chapter 2, it talked about how that there would be a child born, the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. And so when Herod goes to inquire after the wise men come to him, he goes to inquire with his theologians, and they quote Micah, I think it's 2:5, and they tell him, that in Bethlehem there's going to be a king born. Well, they knew. Well, the shepherds hear this declaration out in the field, probably scared the peanuts out of them, and they get up immediately and go to see where the child was laying. Well, this king sitting in a castle has these great theologians sitting around him, and he hears the news that the Messiah has been born in Bethlehem. There's a star, and these wise men are going. All this evidence comes to him too. And does he do anything? No. He doesn't leave. He doesn't get up 5 miles from Jerusalem to Bethlehem, and he didn't go. He could have gone in his palanquin, having men carry him, but he didn't bother to go see. No. And so I want to talk about how God uses the least, the lowly, the lesser this morning. And I was one of those. I'm going to share my testimony about what Jesus did in my life. Hope you can join us.
That's going to be wonderful. And people are expecting. They're expecting. This is a time of year of expecting. Whether they're expecting an air fryer, for Christmas, or whether they're expecting
hopefully not a Teflon one,
a new car. Yeah, I mean, no matter what they're expecting this year, it's a season of expectancy, and we've kind of gotten it a little bit off kilter. We've kind of driven it to a place where it's become about things and not about the who of what happened in that time when you were sharing about. I was reading a story to you this morning about a sighting in City Park last night, and this is the 22nd. That would be the evening of the 21st, and people saw something falling from the sky, and they were saying it's an asteroid. It's an asteroid.
A meteor.
Yeah, meteor. It's a, what is this? And everybody was amazed. They were at the sight in the sky of this thing falling. I mean, it was very visible, and apparently it was visible from several states. But what it turned out to be was Chinese junk. It turned out to be a deployed satellite that had lived out its expectation and was falling back to Earth and literally disintegrating as it came back to Earth. But don't you see how man is always looking toward the sky for his answers? He's always looking to the sky for his answers. And even though that was just a hunk of aluminum falling from space, it tells you something. It tells you that people are continually looking to the celestials for that answer. And that's where we need to look. But we need to look much further than the first heavens or the second heavens. We need to look into the third heavens. We need to look into that place where God sits, where Jesus sits on the right hand of the Father, because we know that he is coming back. He's coming for us. It'll be a second coming, and that second coming is going to be so amazing. So, hey, be with us this morning at 10 o'clock, 1510 Lindbergh Drive, the I-10 service road right here in Slidell, and we are looking for you to come and just share Christmas. We've got a kids presentation this morning. It's going to be an amazing kids presentation. Pastor Lawrence is going to be leading us in worship, some wonderful Christmas songs, hymns, and spiritual songs, and we'll just be lifting up the Lord that way. So, hey, be with us. Listen, we love you. God bless you. Merry Christmas. We'll see you again real soon. Take care.